Hi, this is Monika Hoyt, and today I'm going to share with you the 7 principles that prevent relationships from breaking up. And this is adapted from the research of Dr. John Gottman, who studied thousands of couples over the course of 20 years and was able to identify the factors that contribute to successful long-term romances. Number 1, enhance your love map. Emotionally intelligent couples are usually really intimately familiar with each other's world, and they have a richly detailed quote-unquote love map, which means that they know the major events in each other's histories, and they keep updating their information as their spouse's world changes. So a husband could tell you how his wife is feeling about her boss, and she would be able to tell you things about him, like that he fears being too much like his dad, and that he considers himself a free spirit. These partners tend to know a lot about each other's goals, worries, and hopes. Number 2, fondness and admiration. Now, without fondness and admiration, there really isn't a whole lot of basis for a rewarding relationship. These are by far 2 of the most crucial elements in a long-lasting romance. So the goal is to always remind yourself of your partner's positive qualities, even if you struggle with each other's flaws at times. And you don't just remind yourself and take note, which is great to do anyways, but you want to go one step beyond that and express out loud your fondness and admiration for each other. This will prevent a happy marriage from deteriorating. Number 3 is turning towards each other. And this is what Dr. Gottman calls bids for connection, which is basically seeking our partner's attention, affection, humor, or support. It could be telling your partner a story about your day, reaching for a hug, or smiling at your partner. And whenever one person makes a bid for connection, the other person can turn away or turn toward them. And turning toward has been shown to be the basis of a strong emotional connection, romance, passion, and a good sex life as well. Number 4 is let your partner influence you. Now, in heterosexual couples, there is a gender component to the importance of receiving influence, and Dr. Gottman did study heterosexual couples for this amount of time. And what he found was the happiest, most stable long-term partnerships are those in which the male partner treats his female partner with respect and does not resist power sharing and decision making with her. So when the couple disagrees, these males actively search for common ground rather than insisting on getting their way. Now, it's just as important for women to treat their partners with honor and respect as well. But Gottman's data indicates that the vast majority of women, even in unstable relationships, already do that. So if you're a man and you're listening to this, make sure that you are receiving influence from your partner. That's very important. Number 5 is solve your solvable problems. This is a really big one because it involves several different communication techniques that you need to be able to use to be successful in solving difficult problems, which every marriage will have at some point in time. Soft startup is a concept that Gottman he describes as basically the way that we bring things up that are of concern to us. When we're doing soft startup, we complain but don't criticize. We state what we want, not what we don't want. And we use I statements instead of you statements. So instead of saying, you're always late, we might say, I worry when you're late. I would like you to please call if you're going to be late. Effective repair is essentially being able to receive your partner's attempt at being conciliatory, however that might look for your partner. They might ask for a break to cool down. They might share what they're feeling. They might apologize or maybe crack a joke. And we need to be open to these attempts at repair. Soothe yourself. This is another big one. When problems come up and people get really, confronted with high levels of conflict, people can get flooded or get very escalated. So it's important to learn these techniques. Avoiding flooding could be things like taking a time out when you notice that your heart rate is high and waiting for half an hour before talking about it again. It can be soothing techniques like positive thinking or focusing on your breathing, and there's, lots of information about that out there on the internet. And different things work for different people. And finally, compromise. This is a really important key in being able to solve problems. And he proposes an exercise. He calls it the circle exercise. He suggests that you decide together on a solvable problem to tackle, and then separately draw 2 circles, one smaller one inside a larger one. And in the inner circle, you can list aspects of the problem that you cannot give in on, you just can't budge. And then in the outer circle, you list the aspects that you can compromise about. The goal is to try to make the outer circle as large as possible and your inner circle as small as possible. Then come back and look for the common bases for agreement. Number 6 is overcoming gridlock. Now, many perpetual conflicts that are gridlocked usually have a base of unexpressed dreams behind each person's stubborn position. And in happy marriages, partners are able to incorporate each other's goals into their own concept of what a marriage is about. So the goals, one person might have could be as concrete as wanting to live in a certain kind of house, or it could be as intangible as wanting to view life as a grand adventure. The bottom line, though, is really just being able to honor the other person's dreams, even if those dreams aren't your very own, but you honor them as important and something that you take on board in the fabric of the marriage. Finally, number 7, creating shared meaning. This is really important. Because marriage is really creating an intentional sense of shared purpose, meaning, family values, and a cultural legacy of its own that can form a shared inner life. So each couple and each family can create its own microculture with customs like Sunday dinner out, rituals like a champagne toast after the birth of a baby, and myths. And myths are stories that the couple tells themselves that explain their marriage, about how they met, why they fell in love, how they got through problems, things like that. And this culture will incorporate both of their dreams, and it's flexible enough to change as husband and wife grow and develop. When a marriage has this shared sense of meaning, the conflicts that come up are less intense, and the problems are unlikely to lead to gridlock. So make sure that you're creating shared meaning and are on the same page about these things in your relationship. Now, I do have some more things on my website about the techniques that you can use in solving solvable problems, I statements, soothing techniques, things like that. Check it out at monikahoyt.com. You can also email me with questions at monika@monikahoyt.com. And I encourage you to look for John Gottman's books. You can find them easily on Google, anywhere. He's got a number of them, and they're all fantastic. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time.